Yesterday in section 1.2 day 1 we talked a little bit about local extrema, and so today what we're going to do is use the calculator to help us find the local extrema, local mins or maxes of a particular function. And so here's the function we're going to work with today. It's a polynomial in factored form, and one thing we're going to need to do if we are using the calculator is just first of all graph it on our calculator. So I have it punched into my y1 and I'm going to hit graph, and it looks something like this. Now, one expectation I'm going to have for you guys is that when you're doing a problem that's basically just saying calculator only, I want you to show me something on your paper that tells me what you saw on your screen. So what's on this one right here, I'm going to go ahead and just draw a quick sketch of that on my paper. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mine certainly will not be. But it's got to look something like what you saw on the screen. So not great, but good enough in this case. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this calculator to find the local extrema. It looks like we have 2 mins and we have 1 local max in this case. I'm not going to find them all for this example because I don't think you want to watch the whole thing, but I am going to find at least one of them. So let's take a look maybe at this one down here. I want to show you how to use the Calc menu in your graphing calculator to get that value. So back to the calculator, what we can do is, like we've seen before, is go to our Calc menu, which is second trace. Now, because I'm looking for a minimum, I'm going to go down to number 3 and find a minimum. So now it says left boundary, right boundary, and a guess. What I like to do on this one is just sort of locate as close as I can get to the point that I'm looking at. So this appears to be the minimum if I'm tracing. Now it asks me for a left boundary. That means looking at, assuming we're talking about that lowest point, I'm going to get just somewhere to the left of it, hit enter. Then it's going to ask for a right boundary, so I go back here. Okay, now just to the right of that middle, hit enter again. And then finally I'm going to make a guess, and I'm going to go as close to that point as I can. And it tells me, at least it approximates for me, the minimum of this function, which then on my paper, what I would like you to do is label that point. Negative 2.57 approximately, and negative 3.12. You're going to repeat that process for the other mins and maxes in a problem. And so for this case, like if we were going to do this max, the only difference would be that we'd go to second trace and we would use maximum instead of minimum so that the calculator can perform the right operation.